Hello and welcome back to another episode of CharlaFootball. I'm your host, as always, Jerry, accompanied by Tomas. We just got finished watching the round of 16, the last final games between Romania, Netherlands, Austria versus Turkey. I mean, bro, one of the best matches I have seen in this competition so far. I think all of the best matches this tournament have been when Turkey is playing. And on the day, they created history. They're into the quarterfinals and defeating Austria 2-1. We also saw the Dutch beating Romania. But before we get into the matches, first and foremost, Tomas, how you doing today, bro?
Chilling, bro. How about yourself?
I'm chilling. Obviously, I'm ecstatic. I was so like my heart's still racing after just finishing that game up. I felt like I was playing myself, so it was very intense. I loved every minute of it.
I
Beautiful
told
game.
you.
Honestly,
I
told
told
me
you
what?
Turkey was gonna win, bro.
Honestly, I thought Austria was gonna go through just because of the way they've been playing, how they beat the Dutch recently, and I mean, from what I've seen from Turkey, they were solid when they came up against Georgia. Just beat Czechia, but when they came up against a strong opposition in Portugal, they crashed out horribly. Um, but on the day, I think the main difference. I guess we'll start off there. The main difference between Turkey today and Austria is that they were lethal on set pieces because all three goals today came from set pieces.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the first goal was a set piece, but it was a mistake from the defender. He kind of like lets it there. He kicks it towards the goalie. The goalie kind of hits it out, and it hits the ricochets out to the defender, and it's just there for the Turkish forward.
One of the fastest, the second fastest goal this tournament, right?
Second fastest goal of the tournament. I think second fastest goal in the Euros in general,
Hmm.
which is crazy because this goal and Albania's goal versus Italy beat out what was previously known as the fastest goal of the Euros.
Hmm.
But getting back to the game, so the first one was kind of a mistake for me. The second one was a beautiful set piece for Turkey,
Hmm.
and the third Austrian goal. I mean, it was you can't really ask much for it because it was a solid goal.
Yeah, honestly, like everyone says, two headers in the area, in the box is always almost always a goal.
A goal, yeah,
And we saw. I mean, today was just the perfect example of how to take a set piece throughout the match. So, I mean, overall, just a wonderful game to watch. A spectacle. Turkey at the end of the match were defending for their life. They gave a wonderful defensive performance, even though they weren't as compact as they should be. They did let in the Austrian forwards. I mean, threw it in on goal so many times. Arnautovic had an opportunity. Let's talk about that last minute save from the Turkish goalkeeper. What's his name? We should shout him out real quick because
the Turkish goalkeeper. I think his name is what was it?
Gunok, Mert Gunok.
Murts
I think that
Bunak.
I hope I'm
Oh,
pronouncing.
I've had him on FIFA.
He plays for Besiktas, 35 years old. But I mean, what a performance from him too. He almost errored one of the crosses from I think 10 minutes prior to that save. But I mean, in the moment that it matters the most, he stepped up. And you thought the Austria were going to tie the game in the very last minute, and it takes a beautiful save from him to save Turkey. And I mean, they're now into the next level or in the next round because of him.
Yeah, I mean it's just one of those saves that where the forward does everything right. You know, he headers it down, which is what you're taught as a forward. So when the ball comes towards you, header it down because it's more difficult for the goalkeeper to get low than to save it in his
Or
yeah, in his reach, in his arm's reach. So he headers it down, it ricochets off the floor, and the goalie still gets there somehow. I mean, it's an incredible save, and it meant everything for this Turkish team because they were celebrating like they had scored when he had saved that goal.
yeah, I'm sure.
I
I saw
mean,
their reactions were just. I mean, it was impressive, and the reaction of the goalkeeper was impressive. Overall, just the display we saw from Turkey was just impressive.
yeah, I mean, once I saw the goalie save that goal, I just thought Turkey are through. Like,
Hmm.
there's no way that Austria does everything right in the last 10, 15 minutes. Yes, they waited a while, but they were doing everything right in the last 10, 15 minutes. They were having they were being more fluid on the attack than the rest of the game, but them being more fluid on the attack didn't matter because that goalie was there, because those defenders showed up today, because they defended very well. Those holding mids were incredible today. They really did a lot of scrappy work, especially trying to on one of the best midfielders in the world versus Sabitzer.
Hmm.
I mean, it's. it was it was just an incredible display of teamwork.
Yeah, no, 100%. Also, I mean, you have to mention that Arnautovic missed that could have tied the game for Austria. He was
Yeah.
1v1 with the goalkeeper with Gunok, and I mean, in that position, you don't really have a lot of space or time to think. So I understand what he tries to do. He just tries to blast it, see if it will go through the goalkeeper's hand or legs. But maybe with a little bit more of a fresh mentality, he could have chipped him. I mean, it sounds easier than what is actually possible to do. But I mean, in that class striker chipped them, possibly also equalized the match. And I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I
But yeah, overall, just very impressive from Turkey.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people this game came to them as a shock. Not so much for me because I thought Turkey was going to advance versus Austria because I studied them a lot before the Euros, and when I said that they were my dark horse, you guys kind of like looked at me and were like, "How is Turkey going to be the dark horse?" And I mean, I
I mean,
called it and I
a lot
said,
of people, a lot of people did have them as dark horses. I don't know. I thought now
a lot of
they were
people
going to be right
started
up with Austria because Austria
a
was
lot of
considered dark horse too.
yeah, somewhat, but a lot of people started doubting them because of their form coming into the Euro, which was not the best form. But I still knew that this team, getting together, being fresh, getting the chemistry together, they defend very well, and they have the forwards that are lethal enough to get you one goal, maybe even two goals in a game, which is what happened today. But overall, I just knew this Turkish team was going to be able to cause chaos, and you see the way they win these games. It's with chaos, but that's just how they like it. That's their style.
Mm. It's crazy because I'm sure as a neutral or as a fan, you don't like it. You don't want to see your team suffering the way they did, especially in those last 45 minutes. But the end result is all that matters. The 2-1, you're into the quarterfinals, and now you're going to face a Dutch team who on the day completely battered Romania 3-0. And they showed their best face out of all the matches that they played against France, they played against Austria as well, where they lost. This was, I think, the moment where the Dutch have finally woken up. So I am kind of worried for Turkey going into this next round. The reason I wanted also Austria to go through is because I feel like they would put a better match against the Netherlands, as we've already seen. They've already beat them. But now, I mean, we saw with the last time Turkey played against a big team like Portugal, they self-destructed. They even scored a horrible own goal, one of the most horrible own goals I've seen this tournament. So I hope it doesn't happen because I mean I want to see one of the underdogs go through. So I would love for Turkey to put up a good fight. But the Dutch, I feel like they've gained their confidence back. I feel like Ronald Koeman has found his starting 11, and I mean the guys they're gonna go in with everything they got.
No, yeah, the Dutch definitely looked impressive, especially with the team that which they played today. But let's talk about their improvement first, because they look so unimpressive versus Austria. Austria completely dominated that game. Yes, they were able to finish some opportunities, but that's because of the quality of players that they have,
Hmm.
not because there was a set game plan or something. At least it didn't look like that. I know every coach has their game plan, but it felt like they completely fell into Austria's. And I mean, now it looks way different. It looks like they have the solid starting 11 that they were looking for. It looks like all their players are finally fluid with each other. It looks like they have built up some chemistry together. It looks like a completely different team to which was introduced to these Euros.
Hmm.
And I mean, I can see why they would beat Turkey, but this is where their mentality has to come through. The Turks have to find a way that they know that, well, today they knew that they were the less talented team. Today they knew that they had the less individuals, excluding Arda Guler.
Hmm.
But my biggest difference was from that Portugal game to now, Arda Guler started.
That's true.
Arda Guler started, and you see how even though he is so young, he has the confidence of a 26, 27-year-old star midfielder. And obviously he probably gotten some hints from the midfielders like Federico Valverde, which he sees week in week out around Madrid. You have Camavinga, you have all these midfielders that you're competing with, and he's just showing that he has built up some mentality being at Real Madrid.
Yeah. I mean, and on the day he put in two perfect crosses. I mean, he put in a workshop on how to create a cross, how to put in a good cross,
Yeah,
and you can tell that they've worked on that at least for the past few weeks in the practices leading up to this game for sure.
yeah. I mean,
But
if you're a team like Turkey, then you practice these balls a lot because they're really your only opportunity to score.
mhm.
Corners, free kicks at the edge of the box. They're really detrimental for a team like you because in open play, teams like Austria, teams like
Now the
well,
Netherlands.
now the Netherlands, they're gonna dominate you in open play. They're gonna take the ball away from you. They're gonna try to pass around you. So these corner kicks, these free kicks, they're detrimental to the outcome for you as your
Mm.
squad. But overall, who would you pick?
Who would I pick for Turkey and Netherlands? I honestly I think this is where Turkey's run kind of just stops. It's unfortunate because, like I said, I want to see a dark horse move deep into the tournament. At least semifinals would be nice. But I think, like I said, Netherlands are just too strong right now. They woke up. I feel like Ronald Koeman has finally found his starting 11 and the right system that's going to help his team succeed. And I mean, Cody Gakpo's on fire right now. Xavi Simons with 2 assists on the day, he's on fire. And overall, defensively, they're somewhat pretty solid. Although against Austria, it was kind of faulty there. But I think they figured out what's the problem, and they're gonna only get better from here on out. So Netherlands are definitely a team to look out for. Could possibly even go to the final if everything shapes up well for them. I know that this side of the bracket is a lot more favorable for like the
Acceptable.
Dutch example and for the English. They have like the easier side of the bracket because you're avoiding teams like Germany, you're avoiding teams like France,
Spain
but
and Portugal.
and France, yeah, yeah. Because say the Dutch beat Turkey, then you would play against either England or Switzerland, and neither of those teams are extreme. Like wouldn't say that are better than the Dutch. Or same thing for Turkey. Even if they go to semifinals, they can very well put in a shift against England or Switzerland. So it's
Yeah,
really anybody's game on this side of the bracket where Netherlands, Turkey, English, and Switzerland are playing. The other side it gets more difficult with Spain, Germany, Portugal, and France. That's it's anybody's game there. But yeah, I'm gonna go Netherlands, honestly. I think they'll make it. I think they'll put in the work that needs to be done.
yeah. I completely. I see how that's possible, and I want the Turks to advance, but I'm thinking the same. Well, it just depends on how the Turks' mentality comes into the later stages because they've shown that they can compete and win. Oh, it's just so difficult because I could see how it shapes up exactly how the Austria game shaped up, where
Mhm.
defensively they're solid and they score a fast goal, and the Netherlands fall into this trap of playing against the momentum. They get high up, and the Turks score second.
Yeah,
And
I can see both ways, honestly. And I mean, if Turkey on the day they're they put in the same sort of energy that they put in against Austria today. I mean, there's no denying that the Turkish people really have shown up in Germany. I understand that in Germany there are a lot of Turks, so I mean it works out for them. They're basically playing at home if you think about it. But same thing with the Dutch people; they have shown out as well. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a stat. It's gonna be an ecstatic matchup between both teams. So definitely a quarterfinal to look out for. So I'm gonna go with the Dutch.
yeah, I mean, I could see that, but I just want to go with the Turks.
All right,
I
bro.
feel like it'd be much more exciting to go with the Turks, especially if they make it to the semifinal. I mean, that'd be insane.
Fro from there, then it's probably Turkiya's tournament. Not to win, but at least make it to the final, make some more history.
Yeah,
But yeah, that kind of sums up what we saw today for Euros. I mean, unless you want to add anything else, shout out to Romania. I mean, they put in somewhat of a humble performance. You can tell that they really tried. But I mean, what I like about Romania's performance is that they weren't just defending for their life. Like they actually
they
tried
tried. They tried to create something. Yes.
tried to create. They tried to get forward. They tried to find the the Dutch goal, unfortunately, like the Dutch are just way too strong. You have Van Dijk at the back, you have Nathan Ake, you have De Vrij at the back, Denzel Dumfries. They're world class players. It's very hard to get through players like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and congrats to Turquia for making history. Now, I mean, we'll see what happens in the next round. But make sure you guys follow us at CharlaFootball at CharlaFootball. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, um, Twitter, all that good stuff. Make sure to check out our Spotify, our YouTube, and support your small creators because together we're going to make it big. Overall, just a lot of exciting things coming up still. We still got the quarterfinals, semis, and a final, of course, and then Copa America. Obviously, we're covering that. So stay tuned for what's going to happen later. I know we got Brazil, Colombia later. And I believe we also have Costa Rica, Paraguay. So two interesting matchups later in Group D to set up the quarterfinals over there too. So thank you guys for helping us out, for checking us out as well. Tomas, thank you for helping me out over here, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
So